Hello, folks. I'm back with another stream today. Let me stop the music and okay. So basically, I'm back with another stream, and I'll be continue to work on my education lab, which is Edumeet. I have some new stories to finish, which I'll be working on tonight. I've been like away. I was taking a break because I had like a crazy week in the office. So basically, it was quite hectic, and I had a lot of things on my plate. So I wasn't able to devote any time. But today I'm a little bit relaxed, and I feel like I should like I'm missing something. So I just thought probably I should get back on my my application which I'm building. So today, let's see. There are like a few things that I have to do. I will do these verify and all these kind of things. These are not programming tasks, but more around the integration tasks, which I want to basically do it later on. At some point in time, they are. I don't think like they are worth the time on the stream because they are like mostly plumbing tasks, nothing related to programming and coding. So I just want to keep this stream strictly around coding and basically writing code. The same applies to this publish Zoom API. This is also like one of the things that is not super intuitive. By the way, like here is another thing. Like I got the application onto basically so it's live now. I can just like it's live and we release it on the Sunday. It's like it's fully functioning application right now, working kind of nicely. For I hope it just works. Hopefully. So there was something wrong with the app. Edumeet.to me.b2c login. Why is it taking so long? Okay, I don't know. Like probably. Okay, let me just see whether I can do this. Okay, hopefully I would want to show the register flow here, and the reason I am opening an incognito window is because I have to fix one more part, which is basically the ability to sign out from Office or like the B2C login. So I think like let's start it here on this window, and we have the application created. Like I'll sign in using a magic link here, which is basically for I'll just use this is an unused magic link, so I can register on this one. Just like I'll quickly take some time to ramp up through the features that I've been working on, which are mostly ready, right? So the application now works on the production, like it's a live URL app running there, and as you can see, like I signed in as a parent, as is visible here, and there are a couple of kids of there are let's say I have a couple of kids studying in the school. One of them is Catherine, the other one is Michael. So Michael has its schedule defined by the school administration, but Catherine hasn't yet. So that's why I'm not seeing any entries here, but yeah, we do see this data here for Michael. So that's like the kind of synapses for parents and teachers to work on. Like the application is working on live. It's like fully like functional. When I say fully functional, I mean it has all the features that I've programmed so far. Obviously it cannot have features which I haven't programmed yet, but not to worry about it. This is one thing. The other thing that I wanted to, like, I did it off stream. Probably I built this feature on like I did something on the live stream. I built some stuff, but a few things that I did off stream are like also worth mentioning here, which is one of them is basically, if I go to my GitHub now, if I go to my programming here, which is this guy here, what I have is basically I've got this this application is there. One of the nice things is basically I built a full CI/CD on GitHub Actions, so this automatically builds my Docker images and all that stuff, which I can deploy to server. One thing that I would like to do is like I have done all of my, what do you call it, the basic stuff. One of the things that I need to do, however, is basically I think I will have to go to let's see what are the commands that I have. Yeah, this is my CentOS installation where the application is running. Yeah, so I think like one of the things that I might do in the stream tonight is basically set up one more thing, which is to go ahead and auto deploy this as soon as like I merge something into my master, like this one. It will build a package and it will auto deploy it. So that's one of the few things that I might be interested in doing tonight on the stream, because I think that could be helpful. So let's see if I go to this guy, f.edumeet.me, and if I go to the versions of this guy, latest. So this is the right. So I can all of this code is like I've created these YAML files here, which is this guy. What it does is basically builds the image, it tags it with proper versions, and it builds both the application, which is the front end, and the API, which is the kind of backend for the application, and deploys that automatically. So I mean, not deploys, it just kind of goes and tags those tags. So that's how it works. Now let me see what branch am I on. Let's see, git status. So I'm right now on the fix CI/CD part, CI/CD branch. Cool. So I have this branch. Now on this branch, what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna make it compatible with auto deploy. We have got something called webhooks. If I go here, webhooks CentOS. All right, and I think there was a nice tutorial from some guy. I don't remember their name. So I've created this webhook. Now you can run webhook. I think my webhook is there. Let's see, webhook. Okay, yeah, it's complaints about webhook not found, and that is basically, let's see. So there is like add snap bin to the end of your path, open etc.environment. Yep, this is the problem. Right, okay. Export path, edit etc and restart your system. I don't want to restart it. Let's see if my binaries are located in that folder first of all. So if I say ls, the stream is quite today. I saw a message from Brendan yesterday, or like I don't know when he sent me that message. Let me just look in. So he sent me a message on today around, I mean I don't know what time he sent it, but it doesn't show the time. But he's like, where have you been? I've been, like, as I said, like I've been a little bit crazy. So I think like probably I'm expecting people to join today, hopefully. And I don't know. I think irrespective of that fact, if like these streams are also available for some days, like around 30 days on the Twitch itself, or you can even go to YouTube to see them. But let's see. Okay, let's coming back to the path. I want to add it to my path, so I just want to make sure that this thing is first of all, this folder is correct, and then basically I'll just add it to. There is no such folder like snap cd snap snap ls. Okay, cd bin ls. Well, there is nothing in this snap. So how do I install? Like, okay, let's take a step-by-step tutorial. So we have got this ngrok blah blah, create express app, express require, start the app, and ngrok. I don't need this. So first things first. I think there was like there was a nice setup guide on how to set up webhooks. Okay. this one, not this one. GitHub Actions. Deploy Santos. I think this is the guy. Says deploy features, GitHub Actions documentation, DOS webhook. I don't know. Probably this was the guy. Like one of these articles had this nice guide as to how to deploy this. Blah blah blah. Try it out. The release workflow: preparing the server with the Docker, create the Docker file, build the Docker image, run the application. Okay. So this is not the one. I mean, seriously? Now Medium has started charging money for reading the blog post? Wow, nice. Sudo snap install webhook snap help refresh. How do you? Don't remember how do I install webhook for your distribution Linux. It says this: I copy epal release epal snapd socket, follow, create a symbolic link between. Okay, and snap. I think I had already done this. Exit. Hopefully I'm not required to restart my machine, because that would be horrible if I'm required to restart this. And let's see. This is done. Using webhooks. Webhook. Blah blah blah. It does that. It does that. Configuring the webhook. It does. I did all of this part. This is also done. So a webhook server. Okay. Snap bin location. Snap install location. Okay, so this is where they are. Snap where libd snapd. Okay, let's see what is here. ls. Wow. So it has got these. I don't know what is the bin directory for this. Hopefully this is in the snaps. Okay. Snaps. Okay. Wow. I saw that like there is nothing in the snap bin folder for sure. ls snap bin ls. Oh no, there is stuff there. Okay, no, not ls snap bin There is nothing on the bin folder. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. maybe I'm doing something stupid. No worries. Stalker. So echo export to bash rc. Let's see if this works. Let's come back here, and then all I need to do is basically source the new bash rc, which is, I'm super lazy in terms of typing, so I just want to copy and paste stuff. Okay, hopefully web hook. Come on, somebody might have figured out this problem already. Which one is not this one? What is this? I don't even need this Sphinx thingy. Okay, no worries. I think I know what's the problem and how do, like, I don't want to even go into this. Most of the Linux packages, like, they are, well, not reliable, but that's okay. By the way, I have got this Windows subsystem for Linux, and if I go to this guy back, I want to install it on Ubuntu, which is here, and install webhook. Does it work locally? I've got this super long password. Okay, I did that, and let me just copy this now and paste it here. Cannot communicate with server. HTTP localhost snaps webhook. Okay. Web. Oh, does it have? Yeah, so there's like this works on Ubuntu, but it doesn't somehow work on or the crap the distro from Amazon is crap. It doesn't like set it up properly. Sudo snap remove help. Okay, yeah, remove webhook. I think that's the thing. Yeah, I just removed that software. What I'll do is basically we will set it up to basically install using SSH and SCP, right? So we'll just use that one because we have already built the Docker image. So what we can do is basically, if I come back here, not even this guy. Let's see, there's we will create another action or like another step into our workflow. deploy to Azure, Mabel, Seed, Code Curve, governance, coveralls. Okay. SSH deployments. What it does is basically. GitHub Actions, SSH, SCP. I need two things: GitHub Actions, SSH, and SCP. Port, private key. Let's see. Copy SCP for GitHub Actions. Passphrase, fingerprint, public. This is to skip. Default is to skip verification. So what I need is remote path to folder to copy the contents to, required concurrency, number of concurrent file transfers. I think okay, here is the thing. I had already done this guy. Yes, I do have, like, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm running in circles. I'm just trying to. So in the build folder, what I've done is I have already done this ds deploy.sh file, and it does a docker compose up, docker compose down, and then basically up, and then it starts the image. So I already have this. All I need to do is basically I need to run some arbitrary SSH commands, and that should be good enough for me to get started, right? I don't need to do anything. I can just simply get the latest from my repository, and then basically just execute this command, this file, and that should start up my entire infrastructure. And I already have the here, instead of like having this guy, I can just say latest. Just always pull the latest image. That way it just does all of this stuff for me, right? And if I say get status, get add, so what are the things that I have here in my deploy.sh? I have got down, I then remove all the images, and then I bring the container up. So that's good enough. Get commit dash perfect. Okay, so I can go ahead. Yep. Git push origin master. Cool, man. You can do that, or you can, like, for me the first time the branch is like it's a new branch, so I can just git push upstream. I'm very lazy. Hey, by the way, it's nice to see you, Brandon, here. I mean, I felt like the stream is too lonely today, so I thought probably it could be nice if I could have a friend somewhere around. How are you doing today, by the way? And as you can see, like, I've got a nice green screen behind me, so it looks kind of a little bit more. I'm just a floating head on the screen now, so I hope it's looking nice. Okay, so let's go back to the GitHub Actions again. So what I'm trying. Okay, so I have got all of this. to follow, and I learned so much in the past few days that I'm new using Linux in a virtual machine and learned the basics of Git and Linux terminal. Cool. theodinproject.com. Okay, let's see what this is. Let's see. theodinproject.com. Your career in web development starts here. Perfect. Our full stack curriculum is free and supported by passionate open source community. Awesome. Wow, I wasn't aware of this website. This looks really nice. Let me just bring it over here. So yeah, this looks nice. So it teaches you HTML plus CSS. It teaches you JavaScript, which is kind of nice. It teaches you Git and Ruby on Rails. Honestly, like although like Ruby and this is like a big thing. I somehow don't like the Ruby ecosystem a lot. Although it's like, as I said, like I'm not saying that it's like not a good tool or technology. It's just that I was never able to develop a taste for it, more or less. But that's okay. I mean, you have got good stuff like Node.js. And by the way, like I was like just coming back to, like, I'll just quickly take some segue from the discussion. Tech Empower benchmarks. So I was like, I found this Tech Empower benchmarks, and I'll just say .NET Core. Right. So this is like perfect. Yep. So we've got like these this like Tech Empower is like a nice kind of a benchmark, and this is like probably like this is from quite old, 2018, 19, 2020. This is the latest one, I think. Yeah, around 19. Perfect. So I was looking at some of the basically benchmarks around things. So as you can see, these are like the ASP.NET Core benchmarks, and honestly, like they are quite fast. Even like ASP.NET Core, it has been proved that it's like 7 times faster than Node.js. So I'm not basically bringing this up to say that like Node.js is a bad technology, but I'm saying like when it comes to certain things, like Node.js is good with basically asynchronous stuff, where like, okay, you have some stuff that you are doing in terms of IO, you can just, but when it comes to raw computation, yeah, I mean, a compiled language goes like a long distance as compared to, as you can see here, like Node.js is like long, like very low in the list, and that's mostly because of the fact that basically ASP.NET and C# ecosystem, it's a compiled application, and they are working quite a bit on the performance side of the things as well. Anyways, okay, so let's I was like I thought probably it could be a nice thing if I can, like I was struggling to find this Tech Empower benchmark on the other day, so I just thought probably it would be nice. But yeah, Node.js is like a very good technology if you want to basically just build simple web applications. You don't want to basically do a lot of different kind of stuff, but if you want to do a lot of other, although like you can build web mobile applications, native mobile applications with things like React Native and those kind of things using JavaScript. Although it wouldn't be a Node application, it's just like JavaScript application, but still, like yeah, Node.js is also a great platform to use if you want. So long story short, like I'm glad that I found this website, and thanks for sharing it, Brandon. I think this is a very good platform. Like here, the people are just crowdsource or like doing learning in a collaborative manner, which is awesome. I like this, and this is like one of the things where like I like people doing like building these great software which can be used by a lot of people. Also, like I like the plain and simple look of the website itself. It's very minimal, without like usage of a lot of colors, just 2 prominent colors, which is another like nice feature of this website. I like it. Okay, so yeah, let's come back to our job at hand. So what we are trying to do is basically we are trying to go, where is my GitHub? This is my GitHub. right? There are two packages. So it will build, but one of the things that I would want to do is basically GitHub. I would want to basically run some arbitrary commands using SSH. So remote SSH commands. I think this was one of the GitHub actions. Yeah, this is the GitHub actions. What it does is basically secrets.private key. Okay. Let's see how. I mean, I know how to. Cool. So it's going to be, my repo is edumeet.me/app. I know how to set the secrets, that's not a problem. Yeah, I set the secrets. My problem is, okay, I can just like, okay, I can add a key there. Nice. I want something which is, let's see, what is this guy? Apple Boy. This is the first thing that comes here. Run SSH, Apple Boy SSH, GitHub Actions for SSH. How many stars do we have? Oh, this is nice. This is quite popular. Secrets.port, host, username, password. Host. I want to use sign in using script. Where do I pass the key? Raw content of ID SSH /ID RSA. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Got it. So I would just take this guy and I would go to this one, which is this one, and I'll just dump it into my GitHub Actions folder, which is this one. Workflow. First, before I do that, I would want to test that my app ls cd build ls, and then I would want to test my deploy.sh. Perfect. It takes down, it starts back everything up, it pulls all the images from scratch. Sorry, yeah, I can turn down the music. Definitely I can do that. I will just turn down the music. I'll just make it even bit lesser. Is that better now? So what our goal is going to be is basically automatically deploy the application on every merge to master, so that basically we don't have to do these chores again and again. Perfect. So that does that. So I have tested that my build script, or like the deploy script that I have, is working correctly. All I need to do now is, once we build and push the Docker images, all that we need to do is come back here, and I can just say name, deploy the application. Okay, and it uses this action. It uses these things with host name equals to this guy, app, username, password, port, and scripts. Script that I want to run is not who am I for sure. I just want to run it using slash. Okay, does it also give me an option to set my working directory? It should give me host, port name, key path, script. Okay, there is no option to set the working directory for sure. Not a problem, by the way. It's not such a problem. Okay, and I'll momentarily open my key into another window, which is going to be here. I can just bring my public key, which is like here in the, I think, what's the folder that I am using? It's in my downloads. If I go to my downloads and if I set the edit with code, bring this guy here, bring it here. Okay, this is my private key. Copy this one, and I can just simply go back to my GitHub, open my settings on the repository here, open my settings, put it here, and go to my secrets, create a new secret. By the way, like, this is how you create a secret. That, like, secrets are like kind of, you know, things that you store, something that you want to protect, and also basically use in your workflows, or mostly using your actions, GitHub actions and those. So you create a secret here. Okay, I can name it anything. So whatever I name it, I have to use that same thing in my code here. So I can just say, like, here's the username and here is the password, right? So my username is going to be username CentOS. This is like this is my username. I don't have to make it capital all the way. So I add this secret now. So this is my username, right? Secrets.username, perfect. And then I add another thing which is going to be new secret, and I'll call it, I think, what's the name of this other guy? What does it need? Second thing is key. Perfect. So this is going to be key, not password. I'm not going to use password, so I'm going to use key here, key, and that's going to be my KEY, secrets.key. Perfect. Come back to here and set the secret name as key. Copy stuff from my private key and paste it here onto my GitHub secrets. Perfect. And then I add my secret here. Okay, so I have got username and key stored, and I can just now close this guy. And what we would want to do is basically we would want to test it once. So I have already created the PR. What I would want to also do is I'll run this guy, ls, and I'll just say pwd. So hopefully I can run this command, which is, okay, let's go cd app/build ls. So this is where my deploy.sh is. There was an example from this guy. How do you write multi-line things with this script? Who am I? Okay, this is how, like, you pipe it by this, right? No problem, I can just do it like this. This one does. And what I can do here is basically, first of all, I can just simply say git pull, which will do something like this: git pull. First of all, git checkout master. So I just want to check out my master. Do a git pull now. And then I can just say, let's copy the path from here, and just say pwd from this path, copy this one and paste it here, Control V. And in the build there is a file called deploy.sh, which I think is the one. Okay, I have to also go inside, like, I can cd into the folder. Hopefully I can just say cd into this folder, and then I can just say deploy.sh. So this is my deployment script. It will auto deploy the application. Hopefully it should. Let's see, git status, git add, and git commit -m push added the auto deploy. Okay, I haven't set my host name yet, and I haven't set my port as well. So let's do that. So I'll go to my secrets again, create a new secret, which is going to be host app.edumeet.me, and so I've added the host, and also add a new port, which is going to be port. Default SSH port is 22, so I'm just going to set the value. And by the way, like I'm not sharing those like on the screen, because when these are supposed to be protected, so more or less I don't want to share my secrets, because they are supposed to be secrets, right? 22 is the default port for my secret, so I just say port as 22, and everything is good. Step. And then I can just so simply push this guy. Now that I've pushed it, I can go back here and I can create a new pull request, this one, and added auto deploy. Okay, so this just to double check one thing, which is basically, well, I can always do that later on as well, but I just wanted to make sure that I've changed the tag to be latest for the Docker images. Create pull request. I can now merge this pull request, confirm merge. This, by the way, should trigger a action. You can see here is the action that has been triggered. It's running right now. It's queued, not running, but yeah, it will run very shortly. Hopefully it will. Yeah, it queued one job, which is nice. Started that. So we will see that, and we can see the log of the entire deployment here, or the build script. So just to see like what's going on and how it's working. So it started the action. It's going to build those things. It is going to build and push the image. The problem with the problem with these kind of CI/CD, specifically when I say CI/CD, I mean continuous integration and continuous deployment. That's like a field of basically software engineering, wherein like you want to continuously integrate everything, run tests against it, like automatically do stuff, which is this, and then automatically deploy it as well, which is like continuous delivery. So one of the things, like you have to do it once for each application, and that like the debugging part is like because you don't do it too often, you forget things, and because you forget things, the debugging is like involved specifically for software engineers who are not basically DevOps engineers, which is like another discipline in software engineering, where like these guys are responsible for like all this part. They do it on a daily basis, and they just work on this. They don't create application features. They mostly work on these kind of things. So unless you are like a DevOps engineer, you just tend to forget because of like so many tools, and each platform having its own opinionated way of doing things. uh, it's a method full of trial and error. So, and basically some googling, going around and figuring out what syntax to use mostly. But if you have your fundamental concepts clear, okay, there is an SSH tool, then you can always find how do I run this SSH tool on this particular platform. You can always Google it. You don't have to basically learn it by heart, or like just basically memorize it. You can always look it up. Yeah, so it's pushing the image. Now it has pushed the image. It has tagged that, and basically now it has started the deployment of the application. Let's see what it is doing. Okay, yes, it deleted all of them. It's now pulling for the default driver, pulling app. Why is okay? Why is it pulling this SHA FAF? Why is it pulling that SHA? It shouldn't. I see. Now I understand. The problem is, okay, I got it. So the problem is, it did not pull the latest. It started the application. It did that. There was no problem with that. However, it did not do one thing, which was basically did not check out master, which is wrong. And the reason for that is, I found the reason as well. The reason for that is basically, if I go here into my steps, which is this guy, if I go into my steps, I am not going into the so this should be the first command that I run. In fact, let's do one thing. So let's do it this way. It's not such a horrible thing to happen, but it's so if I go here, and if I remove and I just go inside the app, and delete this part from here, that's one thing. And it goes here, it checks it out, it does the git pull, and now I can just say cd into the build folder. This way I can go inside and then basically start up the script, which is the kind of like ideal things to do. So if I say git status, and then basically I'll just add this file, stage this, and then commit it. What I can now do is basically add a comment, which is going to say fix the git pull error. Now I'll have to raise another PR. That's the kind of thing. So because I cannot test it locally, I have to use it on the GitHub Actions. I can test it locally as well. There's a way to test GitHub Actions, because they run, if you see, they run on a Docker image and all that stuff. So, but I don't want to. Basically, it doesn't make sense to basically spend that much amount of effort setting up all that infrastructure just to test it locally. And then done, git push, and then I have to raise another PR. Okay, and then I can say git merge origin master. So let's sorry, like this. So there is nothing happening here. Git push, not t push, git push. Already. There is one thing that I found, like GitHub to honestly speaking, like it sometimes doesn't do a very good job in terms of, see, this is a branch. It should have shown me that like I need to create a pull request for this one, because there is a change in one of the files. Yeah, this one has changed, right? So as you can see, but it did not suggest me to create a pull request. That's not a problem. Merge pull request, perfect. And if I now go to my actions, Will not spend too much time on this one. I'll just simply just make sure that this gets working. Once it's working, I'm not going to try to make it perfect. And I know this my deployment, my CI/CD flow is too simplistic, but that's on purpose because I am a single guy working, and I don't want to make it a very complex. Although if I was a team, I would want to make it make it a super complex flow where okay, on each pull request I run tests against my code just to make sure that. But that's, and the second thing is basically I don't have that many number of minutes as well available to me on the free plan on GitHub to be able to do those to be able to run that many kind of workloads. So I think this is good enough for me, given that the fact that right now the application is not a mission critical application. It will become mission critical at some point in time, but not right now. And we will cross these bridges when we are required to, when we reach to that point. Nice. So we have although this wasn't in my to-do list, but I thought it's a good thing to do, and it also basically some of the folks might be interested in basically because I remember looking at a question where how do you auto deploy it, right? So this is how you auto deploy it, more or less. And all of this is free, you don't pay any money for it. Yeah, I do pay money for the server that I'm running, but apart from that, and apart from that, I don't pay any money. If I wanted to build some loosely coupled, I can write some C# or Node.js lambdas and then basically use them as the backend for the application. I don't like the lambdas approach and all that stuff. I could use all of that for my running my serverless API and web application, but probably it's good enough for me to use this, because after a point you start missing that kind of control where okay, you would want to control your infrastructure. One of the things that once we are done with this, one of the things that we are going to start working is creating an email service. This email service would be okay. One of I think I can show it here. So if I go to app.edumeet.me, hopefully I'm not signed in. Yeah. So if I click on this get started page, now the school can submit their information, and then basically once they submit this information with their email, we will receive I want to be notified with an email saying that hey, somebody asked you to some school showed some interest, so we would want to reach out to them, and then I'll also build a screen to basically send out a email saying that thank you for your interest, or maybe we can send out an email directly from the screen itself. And then basically because we have their information, we can get in touch with them, we can call them. Perfect. So yeah, it did do everything here. Okay. So if I come back here and I say get status, let's see what branch it shows. Yeah, it's on master now. Perfect. And deploy the application. It did do that. It pulled everything from the master. Nice, which is awesome. Removing Nginx, removing all this, and then basically it deleted all the images, and then basically it executed all the commands, creating build cert bot, creating tenant, creating build app Nginx one, and awesome. So all of these are now working, and if I refresh my application, it's deployed. Cool. So we finished off one of the things. I think one of did I have a story for auto deploy? this is one of the things that I did. I would want to bring it into my sprint, which is here. It's on the top most section. Yes. Active sprints, active action to auto deploy. It's done, tested, and then done. Now we can start working on the email service for sending emails, schedule magic links for users, creating marketing leads. Before I start working on this, like, I would like to take a small and short break, just to basically have some water, probably try to make a coffee for myself, and then basically we can just come back and continue building on this email service. And I'll just, like, we will discuss how to what is going to be the architecture, how we are going to use it, and all those kind of things. So probably, like, we can work on that part. So okay, let's take. Okay, so I'm back. I did order a coffee. I did not prepare it myself. And so, yeah, so what we are going to work on is basically create an email service for sending emails, schedule, magic link, and other stuff for users. Alrighty, so we did deploy the application, which is nice. I think one final thing that I can do is I can add the badges. So GitHub add package badge. Not this one. Hmm. So this issue is always like still open. No worries. I can come back here. The issue is open. I think like I cannot add GitHub badges for sure to the markdown. However, GitHub actions badge. Phew. Hosting your own runners. Hmm. Okay. Hopefully, yeah. So if I come to my readme file here, and first of all let me just look at a preview of this guy. How does it look? So what it does do is basically repository owner is going to be Edumeet /me. I think that's the repo. Edumeet.me is the org name. So I'll just replace it with so GitHub and what's the syntax? GitHub.com/owner. Owner is this guy. The repository is app, which is this one. You meet me app, then workflows, And then what do we have? Workflow file path. Huh. Or just the workflow name, right? So I do have a name for the workflow, hopefully. What is like? Let me look at my actions. Build and publish Docker images. Build image.yaml. Yeah. Documentation says that. Where is that? Well, it doesn't have a name. You must reference. So name my first step. Jobs. Okay, so I can just simply replace it %20. Come back here. %20 is the kind of escape sequence for the spaces. This gives me a nice way of visualizing that, like, okay, this thing is preview. For some weird reason, it's not showing up this badge. Let's see. It could be that it might be working. It says not found. build images .yml. It says not found for both of those things. Hello world .github. Okay. So I have to do something like this. Build image.yaml. Perfecto. So this is what I want. Here it goes. It says this is one last step in my journey towards preview. I've verified this on my browser, So if you can see here, it works more or less. So yeah, I don't need to now basically, so it's working, so the workflow is passing. I just shows a nice badge on the repository, which is good to have. Get status, get origin hyphen master. First, let's do a git pull. Yep. Oh, one more thing. I just like, I don't name deploy. The documentation said that either I can use the name and then get the badge. So I think like it should be good enough. So I have added the build image.yaml and I can go to my readme file now. Get status. Is there anybody on the stream? Hello, Flashy Singh. How are you, man? Yes, there is another stream today. Today, like I'm doing some CI/CD and DevOps related stuff on my repository to be able to auto deploy the application. I have already configured the CI/CD part today. It's like more around just setting up the the cosmetic part of it. I'm just wrapping it up, and then basically I'll move on with creating some really interesting stuff today. I have a story. I'll just describe. Let me just quickly go ahead and push this change. So created like gave a name to the workflow. How have you been, Flashy? I think it's been like I took a break for almost a week, and I was like I did stream on Saturday, but it was during my daytime, which was probably not you guys were not available to be there. I felt quite lonely on the stream. That's okay. That's why like I did some work on Sunday or on Saturday. I streamed on Friday and during the daytime because it was a day off for me. Then I did something on on Saturday as well, but I did not stream it. I thought like I don't know, like I was too occupied in making sure that the application goes live. That's the reason. Cool. Let's say git status, and then if I say git pull first, I would want to merge the origin thing into my branch, so that like I can get merge origin slash master get push. And right now we are looking at those workflows and that kind of stuff. We are just setting that up for automatic deployment. Okay, let's see. New pull request. Now we can delete this branch. Hopefully we don't need it anymore. Yeah, it will come soon here, like deploy no status, it shows here because I just renamed that workflow to deploy. And let's go to actions. So there is the workflow name now, deploy. It's starting, it's going to start soon, and once we have that name, that should be there. Yeah, I think like yeah, but you are correct. Like, see, it was a crazy work week for me. Was very hectic at work, and then I didn't have any energy left in me. Today I'm able to stream because we are just starting off with the week. The week starts here in UAE on Sundays, so they have the first day of the week is on Sunday, so it's easier for me to just like have some energy left over inside me. Cool. So we have got stuff, and yeah. So I like that takes care of my, yeah. So it started my workflow. Hopefully we will have a status very soon of this one. Yeah. So there is no status yet. It will be reported very soon. Right, so let's look at the thing that I'm going to build today is create an email service for sending emails, schedule, magic link, and user for marketing leads emails. So this is like when like some user registers themselves, they should get like a confirmation email that we received their information, and like we will get on touch with them. That's one part of the service. The other part of this email service would be to basically whenever you create a schedule for the classes, the links for those classes or like some information should be sent to the parents, although they don't need it because they can always go to the dashboard and look at it. But it's also a nice thing if like somebody has that handy on the email, so that like they can just quickly do that. And for like a lot of other things, specifically when we want to send out those magic links to the users for sign up, because our sign up works in a way like we have tenants, and those tenants are basically tied to users are tied to a tenant, and when we onboard users, when the school administrator will create some users for their account, when they onboard them, they should be able to send down them a unique link that they can use to associate. When the user signs up, they should be able to associate themselves with a tenant. So that's how it's like the idea. So for that reasons as well, we will need an email service. So how we are going to do it? Well, let me just open. I think like it's not here. I have this one here. Let's go here. What I can do is I can go to my office.com, whiteboard. For some reason, like on one of the streams, I tried to find this whiteboard, but I wasn't able to. I thought like they removed this product, but I think like probably I was looking at something and I was like super stupid on trying to think that it's or probably they removed it and now they have brought some more stuff here. Like now you can add text. Earlier you were not able to add text, and that's the reason like I used to have these horrible drawings in my whiteboards. But anyways, so how we are going to do it? Let's add a note here. So what we want to do is basically we want to have a email service. What this email service will do is basically it will run as a background service inside our application itself. Now I'm not sure which application. I think I would want to use it on the I would want to use that email service on my tenant web API. So web API, I mean the tenant web API specifically, will have an email service. What this email service, well, do I need like this? Can I not have an endpoint on the API to be able to just like send out an email as and when requested, so that like when we do it, I think that could be a nice reusable way of me to do. So yeah, what we are going to do is like, let's see, let me just delete this guy and let's try to visualize this. So we have this one instance of web API running. Okay, I'm just horrible in terms of, we have got this one instance of web API running somewhere. Wow, this is horrible. Web API, and let me just delete this guy from here, and let's say we have got this web API running in this container. And in this container, what we can do is basically, in this API I've got, I can have an email endpoint. By the way, this API is not public, so I can have just /email, a post endpoint which will be /email, although I can use text to type it, but anyways, so I can have this this email endpoint. And what this email endpoint will do is basically it will queue certain emails, so it will add them to a queue. We will have a queue, and then basically there will be a background service running that would keep on reading from this queue and taking out the stuff from this queue and start sending those emails. This is like the most simplistic design that I can think of. And the benefit of this approach is basically, let's say if tomorrow if I want to make it more scalable, although I highly doubt it, what I can do is basically take this email and then put it into some other way of doing things. So that's good enough for me. I already have like a Office 365 email account. Probably I'll use that one. Hopefully, yeah, that's a good idea to do. I don't want to spend money on like something like Twilio or some other third-party emailing service. I think my Office 365 should be good enough. So if I go to my admin center, I go to Exchange. I don't know like how this is gonna work out, but let's see. So if I go to Exchange, recipients, organization sharing, mail flow, unified messaging. How do I set up hybrid setup? Mobile setup. What does it contain? I don't know. Like I would want to connect both your on-premise Exchange online organizations. No. I think they have something. Hopefully. What's the okay? Mail address, perfect. Network credentials, you need the password. Enable SSL equals to true. This is like SMTP client on this 587 port. Okay, let's try to see if this works. And what is the fastest way of testing this? Well, the fastest way of testing this is creating a small console application just to test this, and then basically we can convert it into a full-fledged. So I'll just say new project, console app, come here, and I'll just say smtp test. Let's, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just say the first argument is going to be my, so the argument number 1 is going to be var user name, user email is going to be args thing at the first index, and my password, I'm going to pass it from the command line. It's going to be the args.1, which is the second argument. So I'll just call it password. Just say, let's do it like this. Username, user mail goes into password. If args dot length is less than 2, I will just say console dot write line username or password missing. Else, I want to do this part, which is just to test it really quick and dirty. Control X, Control V, come back here, and in my just a moment, yeah, Flashy, there is somebody on the door. I'll be back. Coming. Yeah, so your question is, what is the purpose of PowerShell? So that's a very good question. Why do we use? So basically PowerShell is a shell, just like as the name suggests, it's a shell. Now what are shells? Shells are basically these, like on a very simplistic level, these are kind of interfaces that allow you to run some commands on the host operating system where you are like running the shell. Traditionally, like for most of the operating systems, like what happens is when you boot up an operating system, the kernel first of all does some stuff into the protected space. It does some setup. It sets up things for you, and then basically it goes into this protected, like from the protected mode, it goes out into the user mode, and in the user mode it installs a shell, right? And that shell gives you command or a control to be able to run some commands. That's how, like, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's like on a very general scale. So that's how it started. Like most of the when these like operating systems like Unix and they were coming on, and even like MS-DOS started out had like a small thing. So this is how they started, like giving you a user interface. When I say user interface, it was like command line interface. Now, like operating systems and like computers evolved to have user interfaces, which are graphical. So, but still, like people needed to be able to run some configuration tasks, and mostly like to be able to basically, not all the software is available as like graphical software. So there are like these shells or these command lines provide you an opportunity to basically use those tools. Mostly like these are for advanced users who are yes, it's a shell for Windows. It's one of the shell for Windows, I had a Linux class and we wrote shell scripts. Yes, so it's a shell for Windows. Although it's a little bit advanced shell, because well, when I say advanced, I mean you can write full-fledged programs or software in PowerShell because it integrates with the .NET framework, or like the .NET. So PowerShell is like is like a shell for Windows. You got it right. I ordered some coffee because I felt like having some coffee, so I thought probably I'll just a moment. Okay. Wow, they wrap it too much into the stuff. I don't need sugar, not needed. Just open up my coffee and then basically we'll just continue with our stuff which we were working on. How do I open this up? This is like extremely nicely packaged. I don't know, man. Why do they do it? So much packaging, this stuff. Probably it's for the sake of like making sure that stays safe during transit. But it's overzealous packaging now. I don't know. But I'll be able to unwrap this properly. I hope I'll be, although I don't know for sure. So let's see. Yeah, you got it right. It's a shell for Windows, and it basically is used mostly by programmers, system administrators for running some like automating some tasks. Basically, they can write shell scripts to automate some routine stuff or tasks that they have to run. So yeah, it's like a tool that can be used for doing chores, stuff that you have to do on a routine basis, and you don't want to, like, let's say, type in those commands again and again. Yep. So that's it. Cool. So let's now test our application. I'll go to my properties and I'll just want to basically debug in the command line arguments. I can just say test user and test password. So hopefully when I start this application now, yeah, it prints the username and password, so that's correct. Now let's come back to the fun stuff. So I see like they're using what do you call it, SMTP client. You have SMTP client, then you do this blah blah blah. So okay, so I think I'll just I'm super lazy, so I'll just be super lazy here. I'll just copy most of the stuff from here. Perfect. Copy and paste, and I'll just say static void send email string username string password. Okay, and come back here, paste it. It's gonna complain about a bunch of stuff with not being present. Did that. It brings the SMTP client. What is it complaining about? Okay, it's complaining about this thingy which is not here, which I think is not needed as well. Send complete event handler. I can just pass it. What does it needs? Sender and then E. So I can just pass in a lambda saying S comma E goes into blah blah blah. Okay, that's that. This is my callback function for handling the callback. Console dot write line email sent. So this will write the and I can just simply here come back and I'll just basically replace the stuff. I'll just refactor this in a bit. Okay. I have. How have you learned SQL? Yes, I did learn SQL like when I was in school. Probably it was like a long time ago. It's been almost like what 14, 15 years for me. Yeah, I had to learn SQL because, well, if you want to do any kind of database stuff in those days, if you had to do anything related to database, like SQL databases were the only thing that were like existent. Hmm. So it says email sent. Cool. I'll just simply halt my program dot read line. Just wait for the enter key to be pressed, and I'll just simply say send email, and I'll pass the user email and password around here. Okay, this is done. Open SSL. Network credentials are going to be my email, which is going to be username. My password is going to be the password. Mail address is going to be all at gradingo.com. What does it say? Display name from. Okay, yeah, this is be good. Display name is going to be just anything that I want to see, and we'll send out an email to all at Gradingo itself so that I can test it. I want to send subject of the email blah blah blah, should be, yeah, should be good enough, hopefully. Now I'm going to take this in a separate window just to enter my credentials. Hopefully it should work, although I'm not too sure, but yeah, we can figure this out. We can figure this out for sure, for sure. Okay. Hmm. Okay, now that I've set up my username and password, I think I can debug this application just to see the if the email sending works. Wow, it did not do anything. Did I send my did I send my network credentials? Subject send completed, client dot send message. Oh, so I did send the credentials perfectly here, but I don't. Oh, it did send the email. It says email sent. Wow, let's check that. Let's check that email. Hmm. Wow, I did not see that email coming for sure. Wow, What happened? I should have had that. I should have received that email. Hmm. There is one. No, this is not the one. Probably there is a problem. Okay, let's not try to send it to all@gradingo.com, but rather, I think like this thing doesn't work. You can just say send it to myself. Let's see. It's been a long time that I had this coffee. Uh, I like it. Is it waiting on some breakpoint? No, there's no breakpoint. Should have typed it. It should have spit out email sent by now. Why this? We have got from, we have got to. Oh, it's waiting for something. For some reason, the email is not working, more or less. So it's not sending out the email for sure. Now, why is it not sending out the email? Okay, let's inspect the event arguments which are here. Probably I'm just like it's just failing here, and I'm just spitting out that it sent out the email. That could be one of the things. Yeah, let's see. Completed. Yeah, there was an error, so it's not actually sending out. What is the error? This SMTP requires a secure connection, or the client was not. Let's see. Somebody might have already faced the similar problem. There is a problem. Local SMTP relay server to connect to, and this is much more complex setup. Oh god, I don't want to get into this. Yeah, coffee always helps. And basically, this is like most of the times I used to make coffee myself, but today I thought like probably I should order it from Dunkin' Donuts, and it's like awesome. What programming language do I dislike the most? Well, that's a very good question. Honestly, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do have an answer. One of the programming languages that I dislike the most is PHP. And my reason why I dislike is because honestly, like, I don't even consider it to be a programming language. It's more like a shell scripting language. Although I could be wrong there, but yeah, I mean, I don't like PHP for sure. I I mean I honestly like I don't hate languages except for PHP. I think like all of them have their pros and cons and like trade-offs, but when it comes to PHP, I just hate it. Hmm. My personal permission on the shared mailbox, so I can still shut the shared mailbox address as the from account. Behavior is very bad for me since it's personal email password in the code and okay, yeah, cool. This like probably some tps.tls server name, target name, blah blah blah. I have already enabled SSL. This guy says lesson learned. Don't trust the Office 365 password explain. In my case, the password would be expired by 12 months, but it wasn't working. Refresh the password. Okay. Hmm. Okay, got it. This is the problem. It says like the client was not authenticated to send anonymous email during mail from. Got it, got it, got it. So the mail from should be pradeep@gradingo.com. If I want it to succeed, I can stop it here. I can come back here. Pradeep@gradingo.com, and I'll just say Pradeep from Gradingo. Hopefully this should fix the issue. Not hopefully, I'm sure. Looking at their code, I think this is the oh, you are learning PHP? All the best, man. I like it's not like see I have a friend, he was a French guy, and for most of his career he was like writing PHP code. Did it succeed? Okay. Yeah, so he was writing PHP code, and he was like he was a nice engineer, like okay engineer. He's not too bad, but the thing is basically some of the things that like when you look at some of the code, they tend to basically the language itself promotes you to write bad code is what I would say, more or less. When I say bad code, I don't mean like the code which doesn't perform. What I mean is basically which is kind of not not aesthetic, not very pleasing to look at. And this is a very subjective thing. Like it's not to say that like because aesthetics or the looks or what do you call it, your perception of beauty can be subjective. Like it's a very subjective thing. Okay. From And you must log on to a mailbox to send a mail. This error occurs when you do not have entered mailbox login credentials in the printer setting. If there is no option, printer does not support it. Either use direct send or office SMTP relay inside. And using So how this one locally hosted web service like payroll service? Okay, internet authenticate using mailbox credentials. The external recipients on board. This is good enough. Like 10,000 direct send. How do you send email directly from? You need to send message to mailboxes. I don't need direct send. SMTP auth client submission. So I need to enable certain things into my. Okay. How do I enable? So let's go back. Says like smtp.office 365 option 2 and 3. Option 2 send direct. This is direct send. This is not. I don't need this. Let's look at the third. Configure a connector to send email using one. Can't use direct send because because of business. It's I think that the first option we'll have to do. So I think how do I enable admin center SMTP auth. I want to set it here SMTP auth in Microsoft Admin Center. I just want to find the place SMTP auth. Where is this size? Wow. Open, select user and click mail. Select users 365 admin center. So I need to go to my Office 365 admin center, which is here. If I go to users, active users, and if I select Pradeep Singh, opens up stuff here. And what I need to do here, email apps. Okay. Apps. to find this. Authenticated SMTP setting. Click mail. Mail. Manage email apps. Authenticated SMTP. Perfect. Save changes. Save changes. I think, can I do this on this guy just to test it? Okay, man. I hope you have a enjoy your dinner. I'll be waiting. Let's see. Mail. Yeah, it doesn't have an Exchange Online licenses. It's okay. I don't want to waste a license on this guy, but I'll just see how it goes. Then I'll just probably license a user for this guy. Stop this one. Why is it complaining about this one? Okay, the secure connection and or the client was not authenticated. Okay, it doesn't work. I have already tested this. Okay, let me go to my GoDaddy just to try to see what's the what's the host name in my Amex records. I will just pull it into a separate window, and if I go to my domain DNS. See what's the okay. Let's try to use this guy. What is this guy saying? What needs to be done? SMTP server. Okay, if I go here. Ah, I see. Got it, got it. I was doing some stupid stuff here, man. For the direct send, I need to use my SMTP host name. The port is 25, which is correct here, and I have to enable SSL. Yes. TL. No. Enable SSL. Email address. Okay. Hopefully that would work. Oh yes, there is no error. Awesome, the email message was sent. If I come back here, yeah, so that's another advice. Don't read the documentation, don't copy and paste code from Stack Overflow. It doesn't always work. Yes. Well, by the way, like my own email is sent as junk to me. Pradeep from Grandingo. So this is working. This is nice. And like there, the documentation also says one interesting thing, which I don't know if I can just verify this. Say all@gradingo.com. I just want to verify that if this thing works. The error is null. Yeah, that also works. And I don't think I need to enable okay. I think in this situation I don't need to do anything here, but hopefully, yeah. Pradeep from Gradingo, all@gradingo.com. Perfect. So the email sending part is working. So I have just then let's just convert this into a nice kind of a background service to be able to run from the main application. By the way, like I'll be streaming for another half an hour or so. Shin, what language do you use? Oh, I use like for this current one I'm using C#, but I use like a variety of languages. I program in C#, I program with JavaScript, I program with Scala, Java, Python. Mostly these like are the languages, some of them languages that I use. By the way, how are you doing, Shin 1969? Okay, let me just open another instance of Visual Studio. So the way it's gonna work, like as we saw in our design more or less, is that we have an API and then basically we'll have an email service. Okay, so the way we are going to do this is we're going to build a queue. We'll do it like slowly, and slowly. We will do it. Cool. So let's go, and first things first, I've got the controllers. Let's go and add a communication controller. Add. I would also want to basically create the data or store the data for my email request that I want to send. Probably. Okay, let's just build the bare minimum functionality for now. Then we will start going ahead. And for a beginner, what language do you advise? Well, you can start with JavaScript or Python. Both of them are good to start. You don't need you to do a lot of ceremony. So I think both of them could be a good languages to start. I think like JavaScript or Python are both fairly equal candidates in my eyes for a beginner. API class controller. Okay, what I want to do is basically I want to say a communication controller. So this is going to be my communication controller. Awesome. Okay, what is my, let's copy this one. This is version 1.0. Just also have the route copied into here so that I don't have to copy this again and again. Okay, now that I have got the communications controller, I will have a default constructor for this guy, which is going to be this one, and I'll just say public communication controller, blah blah blah. Coming back to my contact service, I just need a logger for now. Okay, communication controller, nice. I think like there is an in-memory cache as well. Do I want to use an in-memory cache, or do I want to use something different? I think I don't need to use an in-memory cache. What I can do is like I can have a background. Like okay, let's go to that point when we need to. For now, let's just simply have a class controller. Here I get the logger service. We will also add the logger at some point in time. For now it's not needed too much. Read only logger. I'm going to communication controller. Okay, HTTP post. So just want to have something like this. We can have a route here, which will be a simple route like this. Email. So you want to post an email to someone. What do you want? What do I want to have here? Let's see. Public async. Like there's task of. It's going to be action result of. So this is going to be my task, and I'll just say send email, and then I'll just say send. I don't need a request in the name. Let's copy this guy. Send email response. It's going to be request, not response. So the request is going to come in in the post. Okay, now let's add these two classes into my model folder, which is going to be here. v1 add a class for the send email response, call it public, and now let's go back to my this one. Request, add a new class, public class. We will add the stuff in here later on. This will do, and I can just say return okay of new send email response, blah, blah, blah. This will take care of it. The API just passes, and yeah. Okay, this is done. What I can do now in this one is basically I will have to create an email service for sure. So I will go here into my domain. I've got contract is new item. It's going to be interface. Call it email service, and public interface email service. Nice. And what it will have, first of all, it will have public async task, rather value task of send email request, or sorry, response. Send email request, to be email request. So this is the method that the email service needs to implement. I go ahead and add an implementation for this one. Class email service, like public class. I'll just say email service. Sorry, not email service, and then implement this interface. Nice and easy. Here, what do I want? Well, I have this code here. I'll just say object s sender and the event arguments. Okay, alright, so not a problem at all. Just for the sake of testing this thingy. just take this as it is, come back to my endpoint, say send email, blah blah blah. This guy works, and I can just await on this guy, make it an async task here as well. Wow. Send mail async, and I've got the message. So it awaits on this guy. Okay. For the time being, I'll inject an I configuration here, public email service, and I'll say I configuration. I can just simply make it as read only, public read only I configuration with configuration. Say underscore configuration equals to configuration. Awesome. Now from the configuration I can get the oh, not this one, man. This is like, I don't need this auto mapper configuration. I need the extensions configuration. This guy. I can say configuration dot get value. This should return a string of string. Now we'll just say smtp user, come back here, and I can call it as username. Instead of username, I'll call it password, and this will be smtp password. I'll just like make it even better after like doing this, but for now this is good enough, not a problem at all. Okay, I've got Daki. Could you explain? Let me see. What's that? Hang on. Where is my chat? Just a moment. I'm like on this screen. It's not super easy for me to read the chat. Where is this guy going on? Where is my Twitch? This guy. So could you explain the syntax of configuration and I configuration, please? Yeah, so what is configuration and what is I configuration? So I configuration is like an interface which helps you in basically, injecting the values stored in your app settings file, which I'm not going to open up because it contains some sensitive information as well for my application. The sensitive information is basically like my Zoom client secrets and those kind of things, which but like it stores some configuration. I can show you another one, probably like, okay, here is the thing. So on a very high level, what happens is like if I go to add new item and I can add a new configuration here, I can say on app settings dot, I think it's okay, here's the thing, app settings. I can like, I mean it's a simple JSON file. JSON file, just like, and you can just simply name it app settings.json. So it contains your like you can store any arbitrary configuration here. One of the things is my super configuration, and what you can do is basically some test value, right? And then you can use this value, you can read this value from at runtime in the program using the configuration classes that are available in .NET Core. That's so iConfiguration gives you like a dependency injectable way of basically injecting those config values rather than using the system.configuration manager for reading those values, which is a static instance. You can basically, it makes it easier for you to test, like inject these values and basically write unit tests. And basically if I wanted to test this service, I can easily inject some iConfiguration mock implementation into this service to test it properly. So that's like the, did I explain that question? So it's kind of similar to web.config in for WOMPs. Exactly, this is like a replacement of basically web.config. Although when you're working with web.config, what you used to do was basically you used to use like system.configuration manager, right? That was the API that was available for reading those files. And the configuration manager was a static, like most of the methods on the class were static. What that meant is basically you could not mock them for your unit tests, although you could do that, but like it wasn't very straightforward, and it wasn't like going by the philosophy of, you know, having this modular framework where like you can just test small things in isolation from everything else. So that's the principle, or this is what iConfiguration is. And the way it's set up is basically if you go to the startup class of your application, it shows it here. You basically it gets injected into at the startup. It gets injected here like this from program. So the ASP.NET automatically, for example, here I'm building this one for myself because I need it for logger and all that stuff, the logging that I'm doing, and that's the reason I need to inject it. But if you don't do it this way, it still gets injected into your application. Yep. So we have got this configuration. Now I can just go ahead and start working on the, okay, I have this. I'll have to store these values in my app config, so I'll take it onto a separate window so that I don't expose it, like unintentionally leak some of the sensitive details about my application. So on the production, I am not storing these like this, like I'm not using app settings for storing this information. It's only for my development. On production, I'm getting it from the environment variables on the machine. So like I'm not checking in these secret files, secrets into the source code, source control. Okay, so what I was doing is I will go to my email service again. I'll create a new key in my app settings for the SMTP user and also for the SMTP password. SMTP password, SMTP user, which is these two keys, and I'll take down this on as well on the other screen. If I go to here, SMTP user is going to be the email, and the password is going to be the password. Okay, let's bring it here. Let's also close this guy. And this is like just an endpoint that I want to test just to see like if I'm able to send the email. And then basically we will expose this as an endpoint on the API, which my different applications can call and use. Okay, so I have got this communication email, try it out. I will just say version 1 send. Okay, it should have sent an email, hopefully. Okay, I did not see anything coming, so let's come back and put a breakpoint here. Put I think this might not work. I don't know. This could be the reason. Although I am awaiting this guy, but let's see how it goes. I can go back to my this thingy again. Well, it wasn't supposed to work. I'm doing so stupid things such as okay. I did not consume this service in the first place. I was so I just got so I will have to inject an instance of that particular service. Email service, inject it here, and then private read only email service. What you need to do is I need to just service and then call this service underscore email service equals to email service. Nice, and I can just say for response equals to email service dot send email. Just send the response back. Although this response will not contain anything, it's just an empty response. All I want to test is the functionality rather than the semantics and the data. One more thing that I forgot, which is wrong, is basically this needs to be this task needs to be awaited so that the controller doesn't return before the task completes. That's another thing that I forgot. Okay, not this one but this one. Try it out, version 1 blah blah. It comes here. Wow, no error, awesome. So yeah, I think so my endpoint to send out the email is working. That's what my hypothesis is. Junk email. Oh well, it ended up in the junk, but that's okay, that's not a problem. It's sent out like around 12:43, which is the exact time. So yep, we built a simple email endpoint on the service. Although it needs to be polished, we will all these things that you see hard coded here will not be hard coded. They'll be coming from some sort of a configuration, but that's secondary. We'll do that later on. So I think that's all for today. Okay, here is the thing. What branch am I on? Let me add all these things. Git status. Now I want to say git stash push. So I want to stash all of these and then create a new branch and then basically apply this stash to that one. Let's say git stash push, git status, git branch feature, sorry, not like this, feature slash add email service. Check out this branch and apply the stash. Git checkout, git status, git stash pop path, git status, git add. Well, there should have been a change in the app settings. I just would want to see that those settings are there, so that I don't spend a ton of time just typing. Okay, so the changes are still here. Nice. Git status, git commit -m, added the feature to if I could spell things properly, that would be so nice. Start a feature to add email capabilities to the application. Git push. By the way, there are a few things that I also need to fix in my application. One of them is the load times and the performance. And I know what the load times, what makes my application load in the horribly way that it does right now. And that reason is basically these images. I'm on a very extremely fast network, but if I try to simulate this thing, if I go to settings, I think, or developer tools, I can go to network, and there is a way for me to simulate this into some sort of a okay, yeah, here I can see I can say fast 3G, slow 3G. Let's say if you want to simulate this into and the other thing is I can disable the cache. And let's say if I'm simulating this on a slow 3G network. So as you can see, the application performance is not too great. It loads horribly. It doesn't load very nicely. This is I'm throttling the. So yeah, it's not best of the experiences for someone. Yeah. And that's also looking at the see, it's the page load takes 1.5 MB of data and it's still loading. 1.8, 1.9. Okay, it has taken 44 seconds. That's horrible. Your website takes more than a minute to upload. It's 55 now. So yeah, this is horrible. There are a lot of areas to optimize, but that's okay. I mean, yeah, I know what the issues are, so I understand. For example, if I go to the waterfall, I can understand what is the things which are this is taking 24.8 seconds. This bundle.js, this can be optimized. I don't need to load the bundle.js. I can load the bundle.min.js, something like this, because this, but still it's taking 19 seconds. And that's because I'm serving them from my server. I will put them on a CD and then it will be extremely fast. That's another thing. So all of these things are, by the way, in my plan of action that I have here. So I do have some a story in my backlog to basically put all of this stuff into the CDN. For now, I'm just being lazy, and I'm not just. It's not just about being lazy. It's also about, because these things are changing so fast. I don't want to keep on re-uploading those things again and again. So for now, it's just for my development experience. But yes, I do know that there's a ton of scope for me to improve in terms of performance. This is one of the things. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So the application has been it took 1.5 minutes to load the DOM content, and then basically it took like around 2.5, and it's still loading. There are like approximately 7.5 MB of resources which are loaded. Most of them are like those images. Honestly, like those images are the. If I go to my network, what's going on here? If I'm just able to maybe drop this down here. So I have certain like these large images on my which is these guys. These are still loading. So it took 1.4 minutes to load. 1.5. These are still loading, and by the way, they haven't finished loading yet. So yeah, these are the things which can be optimized, which not can be but will be optimized for sure. So yes. Will I be using CloudFront? Yes, that's my plan. I'll be using AWS CloudFront CDN. That's the plan. I mean, there are a ton of the CDNs. One of them is Cloudflare. The problem with Cloudflare is it's a good CDN, but then when it comes to like SSL and those kind of things, it's I mean, I don't know. I don't want to learn. I already have experience setting up the AWS CDN. I know how to do it, and it's just like a matter of maybe 5 minutes for me to do that. But and basically I'm not trying to do anything like this application. I don't need a thing like where I need to protect my application against DDoS attacks, like distributed denial of service, because it's just static content that. So basically it's just static content that. So I don't need to put it into like a CDN, something like Cloudflare, which is more around like basically making sure that it distributes your applications across different like edge nodes, and you put your applications in local data centers. That's like more sophisticated approach. I don't want to take that. I am surprised my application hasn't finished. Like if you are on a 3G network, it's been like 5 minutes. The application is still not finished loading. It's still taking, and these are the things. See, if you see this children laptop, it's still loading. These are the things which are still loading, and that's why it's still loading. So yeah. So if I say fast 3G, can it work? Let me just see. If I put it on a fast 3G, this time it's faster. It loads faster, but still like it's not the fastest one. And if I make it like online, then it will be like awesome, because it will be basically using the full speed of my network. Yeah. But these are the like biggest offenders, and these are like some images that I got from Unsplash. If I don't know if you know this, like this is a great website, unsplash.com, this one. And this is like a great website for free stock images that you can get from here. These are like uploaded by people who upload stuff. You can like find stuff related to different topics and subjects around here. And most of these are like you don't need to pay any royalty. You just download them for free. I probably downloaded them to the highest resolution, which is this guy. by default it downloads the original size, which is like horrible. And there are like optimizations that can be done on top of this medium size. You can make it as a progressive JPEG image, which is even more better to load in terms of for example, Facebook uses these, but yeah, finally it loaded in like 1.6 minutes on a fast 3G network. So that's bad, honestly. Like it's not good, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But I know that like what's causing these problems. If you look, this is a 4.5 megabytes of image, right? So these images like 2 MB, 2 megs of image. This is like another approximately 2.6 MBs. This is 3.7. So these are the culprits. Not to mention that some of the other things, which is this bundle.js. This is also like a huge file given the size. So this can be basically, I can instead of loading this bundle.js, I can load bundle.min.js, which is a minified version of it. Hopefully there is a minified version of it. Hopefully, not hopefully, there should be. There should be a minified version of it for sure. Okay, so that's the reason why this is loading so horribly slow. Is the bundle.js for examples. Where am I loading the bundle.js? Let me come to my layouts, controllers, views, shared modern layout here. Right, so where is the one vendor.bundle.js? It should be at the bottom, I think. Bundle.js, vendors, so it's in the vendors. Here. Okay, I don't have a minified version of it. Probably I can minify this guy. So this is yeah, this is the stuff. This is from, so this can be minified and used like bundling. So yeah. And by the way, like this is coming from a third-party theme that I'm using. So yeah, I can just use that one. But that's okay. That's not the end of the world. This is more or less like it's good enough for now. Okay, it's like you also use cover.co. Okay, what is cover.co? I never heard about it. Okay, yeah, this is nice as well, I think. Okay, they also have Zoom virtual backgrounds. Nice. Cool. Yeah, this is nice website, man. This is good. Thanks for sharing. I think I'll probably use it. All right, I think like that's all for today, folks. I hope basically it's quite late for me. As you can see, it's like approximately 1 a.m. Not approximately, but it's like a couple of minutes away from being 1 a.m. What that means is basically I need to go to sleep, because if I don't, I have office tomorrow, and then basically I will not be too happy. I'll feel sleepy when I'll be working, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's it for me for today. Thank you guys for coming in today and like just showing. What I can see, your ticket is correctly in our system. As soon as you get it, teams will, why is it? Wow. Okay. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining in today. It's time for me to say goodbye and see you soon, man. Thank you, Daki. I hope you enjoyed it. And basically, yes, for the React Gradingo community, we can start. So we can do it on alternative days. So today I worked on this one. Tomorrow we can work on the Gradingo community React side. That like yeah, that's also a very high important priority for me. But the problem is basically it's just I have to juggle between the two. Yeah, but I'll definitely like that's one of the things that I'll be super excited to work on. It's just that like finding out uh, the right kind of balance. My initial plan was okay, I would stream about the Gradingo React website, the community website on the weekdays, and on the weekends I'll be working full time on this project. But then I thought like this is something which is super critical right now, and obviously the community website is also super critical, but this can enable some teachers and schools to be able to basically more effectively conduct their remote learning classes right now. I think like probably if I can devote some time, and I'll be super like that's one of the projects, the community website, that's one of the projects that I would want to build. It's like super interesting to me. Hopefully I'll be able to pick some balance between the two. So we can do it like do it on alternate days. Tomorrow instead of working on this, we can work on the Gradingo community website and then come back to this one, that one. Thanks for asking, man. Cool. Thank you, Deki. You as well have I don't know if it's a night or day, but whatever it is, I hope you have a good one.